everything looks bigger than life when you're 5. So everything was big, everything was strange, and I remember feeling, I guess, a bit scared.
Like many children, I remember my school years fondly, but the bits I remember fondly aren't the bits I should have remembered. You know, I remember the play and the sport and the naughtiness and the playfulness and the mischief. In fact, I remember the bits that were non-standard.
It's incredibly privileged for me to have had education be such an important and present part of my life.
I remember being bored a lot. It didn't bring out the best in me, and you know, I got through it anyhow. So it's, you know, I was not a great fit, or the system was not a great fit for me. It's kind of crazy when you think about it, that we take all these children and we force them to try to adapt to this really complex bureaucracy, this system. The system should adapt to them.
The origins of traditional education lie inside the military to a large extent. They needed identical people, soldiers, administrators, and so on, so they produced a system. When the Industrial Revolution happened, they too wanted identical people in their assembly lines, even in their consumers. They wanted consumers to be identical so that everybody would buy the same things.
So if you look at school that way, if you look at the fact that we process 20 or 30 kids at a time in a batch, just like in the factory. If you look at the fact that if you fail 3rd grade, what do? We hold you back and we reprocess you. All matching the way the factory works. We built it on purpose. And it was really useful for its function. But we don't have a shortage of factory workers anymore.
We're probably at the death of education right now. I think the structures and strictures of school, of learning from 9 till 3, you know, working on your own, not working with others, I think that's dead or dying, and I think learning is just beginning.
Well, I had ADD when I was growing up, and now it's like so many people do, and there's this feeling that there's something broken about the kid because the kid doesn't conform to the system. So what we do is we medicate children to fit into the system, as opposed to saying, wait, the system is here for the kids. And there's lots of people who quite easily can sit still for 8 hours and take notes, and then 2 weeks later say back what they wrote down. But there's also this huge population of extraordinarily talented, engaged people who can't learn that way. There's a very big difference between access to information and school. They used to be the same thing. Information is there online to anyone of the billion people who's got access to the internet. So what that means is if we give access to a 4-year-old or an 8-year-old or a 12-year-old, they will get the information if they want it.
Knowing something is probably an obsolete idea. You don't actually need to know anything. You can find out at the point when you need to know it. It's the teacher's job to point young minds towards the right kind of question. The teacher doesn't need to give any answers. His answers are everywhere. And we know now from years of measurements that learners who find the answers for themselves retain it better than if they're told the answer.
Education has been very, very, very slow to look at data, to look at numbers, to look at analysis, what's actually happening. You know, we measure a test here, an exam there, but the detail of what's happening we don't really have. And that will be, for sure, the next important thing in our pockets, our ability to analyse where we are. Some of the people watching this will already be analysing their health and their well-being and their sport. They'll be analysing their learning too soon. And then we'll be really good at it.